Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you maybe are around the world. Welcome to our International Students Talk. I'm your compere for the session, Oliver, and I'll be sort of talking through in sort of the general housekeeping and any questions you may have at the end. And I'll introduce our presenter in just a moment. But just as a bit of housekeeping, this session is recorded, so you will receive a link later next week with ability to watch this back on demand, along with all the other sessions from today's Digital Open Day at the University of Leicester. There is a Q&A, like I mentioned, so that hopefully should be at the top of your screen, or sometimes if you're using a mobile device, you might find it at the bottom of your screen, and there should be a Q&A button. Please feel free to post any questions throughout the session, and then we will be taking those questions at the end. So that's everything from me. So I will now pass over to Jules from our Future Students Office to talk to you about everything for international students. Over to you, Jules.
Thank you, Oliver. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our open day. My name is Jules Pringle and I work in the Future Students Office. So this year is very exciting because we're actually celebrating our 100th birthday. University of Leicester is 100 years old this year. So we've been doing various activities and events and celebrations over the course of the last year, celebrating our 100th birthday. Why study at the University of Leicester? So the University of Leicester is a traditional British university founded in 1921. All of our courses have combined elements of practical and theory skills. We have 22,000 students, 15,000 of those are on campus and 9,000 of those are distance learning. So we have students all over the world studying our distance learning programs. And on a campus, it's like a nice size. Students like the fact that it's not such a huge university, and it makes it more friendly because students are seeing the same faces, you know, every day. And out of our 15,000 students on campus, over a third of those are international. So at Leicester, you're going to have a very international experience, meeting students from all over the world, from over 18 non-EU countries. The city of Leicester is the 10th largest city in the UK. It's got a really nice feel to it. It doesn't feel too small and it doesn't feel too big, and it's easily accessible. It's a very multicultural and diverse city. People from all over the world, you know, moved to Leicester many years ago. So we have many different cultures and it's people that came from different nationalities that settled in Leicester and had their families there as well. So it's very multicultural. It's one of the most multicultural cities outside of London. The population of Leicester is 440,000. And one of the great things about Leicester is that your pound will stretch a bit further. We're third cheapest university city in the UK for students. We're also the second happiest city in the UK. And many of our students do comment about the fact that they find it a really friendly and happy city as well, which is really nice. There's direct links to London. We're only 100 miles north of London, and there's direct links via trains and coaches to the main city, and also other major cities such as Birmingham and the north. Our campus is centrally based, so what's great about Leicester is that the campus is almost in the city centre. Within 10-minute walk, you can be at the train station, and within 15-minute walk, you can be in the main shopping area where all, you know, shops, restaurants, bars and everything are. It's a small self-contained campus with a really nice feel to it. Also behind the campus, we've got Victoria Park. So it's a nice green area, and students often use that to exercise and to socialise in the summer months and things like that as well. And we've got a wide range of different architecture, from 20th century to more modern architecture as well. We've had a lot of new building developments on campus as well. So we've got some fantastic new facilities. Here are some of our campus in pictures. Different months of the year, kind of spring and winter and summer months. So the lifestyle in Leicester is very convenient. Everything is within walking distance. So at some of the universities, you might have to factor in various costs for getting to university or getting around. But at Leicester, you can walk from the campus to everywhere you need to get to. Very convenient. You don't need to factor in extra money for transport and things like that. We have a big shopping centre called the High Cross Shopping Centre, which is in the centre of the city. Many of our students like to shop in there, and you can pretty much get everything you would need or want. Also, if you're into your designer shopping, we also have Bicester Village, which is an hour away. In terms of our food, we have excellent restaurants and cafes throughout the city. And we've got London Road, which has a lot of our like curry houses on there as well. And we've got Narborough Road. If you go down Narborough Road, you can pretty much find a cuisine from most countries in the world. There's lots and lots of choice, and also some really good prices as well. So in terms of the food, it's very varied. We're one of the most multicultural cities in the UK, and we have various food, music, comedy festivals throughout the year. And like I mentioned, the London Road is referred to as the Golden Mile, and that's where all our curry houses and things are as well. Depending on which countries you're from, we've also got some shops on there where you can get products that have been imported from parts of Africa and Asia as well. So it means that you can get some food that you would normally get at home that can make you feel a little bit more at home at Leicester whilst you're studying with us. So there's lots of places to explore in Leicester. We have the National Space Centre in Leicester, which is very interesting. Also, we've got lovely parks. In the city centre, we've got some really nice fountains and places to visit. We've also got the King Richard III Discovery Museum as well, which is very interesting. So if you're interested in history and anything like that, then we really recommend visiting that museum, which is only a short walk away from the university campus. Our rankings in the Times Higher Education UK University rankings for 2022, we're 27th, and we're also 30th in the Guardian UK University Guide for 2022. Our employability rate is 94.4%, which is very high, and highlights the work that we do for preparing our students for their next steps once they graduate. And we are 185th in the world in the Times Higher Education World University rankings as well. In terms of our career graduate prospects, obviously this is very important because essentially, when you come to the UK to study, you want to make sure that you're going to have some good prospects once you graduate. We have an award-winning career development service which helps students with everything from preparing applications, preparing for various interview techniques and things like that. Preparing your CV and making sure it's a very, very good, strong CV as well. So there's various support within the career development services to help you and prepare for all those job applications and interviews that you would be having. We have the best university employability strategy in 2019. Also, we have a graduate employability award for student support. And we're top 10 UK university for producing CEOs, and we're top 27 UK university where graduate employers actively target our students as well. So what's on offer at Leicester? So our main intake for undergraduate and postgraduate is every September. We've got 3 colleges. We've got the College of Social Science, Arts and Humanities, where you can study archaeology and ancient history, English literature, history of art and film and modern languages. We've also got business, criminology, education, history, politics and international relations, law, media communications and sociology, and also museum studies. So those are all the schools within the College of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanity. Also in the College of Science and Engineering, we've got chemistry, informatics, we've got geography, geology and the environment. We've got engineering, mathematics and actuarial sciences, and also physics and astronomy. And then in the College of Life Sciences, we've got biological sciences, medicine, psychology, and allied health professions. So across all of our colleges and schools at Leicester, we are pretty certain that you'd find a course that's suitable for you. Across most of our programmes, we have a year in industry on offer and a year abroad on offer. So the year in industry, if you apply for that, it means that you would be working with one of our partner employers for potentially a full year. And that's normally sandwiched in between your second year or third year as well. We also have some of those opportunities for our postgraduate courses. For year abroad options, we have various partner universities across the world for all of our courses. And before you apply, you'd be able to find out where we have those partner universities to see what options you would have for studying abroad for a year. So they're all over the world, in Europe, in the Americas, in Asia, and everywhere. So there's a really nice choice. We have a wide range of different optional modules available as well. So a lot of our courses, you would have core modules, but then you've also got various optional modules that you can choose to kind of build your own degrees. Our tuition fees range from £17,000 per year to £21,750 per year. And the application process for 2022 entry for you is via UCAS. In terms of our funding, we have a wide range of funding available for undergraduate students. There's different amounts depending on what course or your domicile, or like what country you're coming from. Many of these are guaranteed, but some require a short application, and they range between £2,000 to £5,000 per year, which are taken off your fees. As part of celebrating our 100th birthday, again, for September 2022, we're running the Citizen of Change 100 scholarships. And that means there's 50 scholarships for undergraduate international students. And the value of that is 50% off your first year of tuition fees. So if you're interested in applying for this, all we need you to do is to submit a 60-second video answering the question, what do you want to change? And then what you do is you submit the video to our citizens100@Leicester email with your student ID number. The student ID number is what you would get when you've made the application to us. To be able to apply for the scholarship, you must choose us as a firm choice. And there's full terms and conditions on our website as well. The College of Science and Engineering has an excellent scholarship scheme for undergraduate students. With this one, there's no need to apply for the scholarship. It's based on academic merit. The award is for each year of full-time study, so it's very generous. So rather than the discount just being, off 1 year, it's off every year that you'd be studying us for all 3 years. It depends on your grades, and obviously we do also look at equivalents across various countries as well. But the example we give is for like a standard A level. If you get 2 grades above, you would receive the £3,000 per year discount. But if you get 3 grades above the standard A level equivalent, then it would be £5,000 per year. But like I mentioned, we do also look at the other qualifications that you might be studying at in other countries as well. The courses that are applicable for this are across our schools of School of Chemistry, our School of Engineering, School of Informatics, our School of Mathematics and Actuarial Sciences, our School of Physics and Astronomy, and also our School of Geography, Geology and the Environment. So all of the courses under those schools are applicable. Also within the business school, we have an excellent scholarship scheme as well. With this one, again, there's no need to apply. It's also based on academic merit for undergraduate courses under the School of Business, so for all. For a standard A-level equivalent for 2 grades above, you would receive £3,000 discount per year. And again, the terms and conditions are on our website there. So in terms of our accommodation, we have the Student Village, which is located about a 10-minute drive from the University of Leicester main campus. And we also have like a bus that goes between the two as well. Students who stay in the village accommodation can choose to walk or use the bus, or also they can cycle as well. So we have bike racks at both ends. For the room types for these, we have a single bedroom, single ensuite, a single studio flat and a 1-bedroom flat as well. So we're pretty sure there'd be a room that is suitable depending on your budget. This is also a really nice campus for all of our first year undergraduate students. And as you can see from the pictures, the accommodation can be anything from like an old kind of Georgian house to kind of more newly built student purpose accommodation. The prices range from £85 per week to £175 per week, and you'd be guaranteed a room here if you book before the 1st of September 2022. You can book your accommodation on we have like a portal where you can look at the rooms, you can check what date your contract will start, you can look at photos and everything like that. So that's rooms.la.ac.uk. So in the student village, we have 5 clusters of accommodations. Like I mentioned, we have got the kind of mix of kind of old kind of Edwardian red brick buildings to the modern day modern buildings as well. This is the top choice for undergraduate students because it's got a really nice feel for it, and there's also various events and socials that kind of go on throughout the year as well, which makes it really nice for students. And it's a really convenient, there's various amenities there, such as a 24-hour supermarket 5 minutes away, there's a laundrette, there's a cinema room, there's a music room, there's common rooms. And what's really nice about that area is we have the botanical garden there as well, which is gorgeous in the summer, and also there's a sports centre there. We also have city living accommodation as well. It's called the City. So for students who are maybe going into year 2 of an undergraduate programme, and also for our postgraduate students, we have city living accommodation. All those accommodations are less than 10 minutes walk to the main campus. Some of them were newly refurbished in 2020, and there's various new blocks available in 2021 or 2022 as well. There's again, there's convenient amenities locally, such as the laundrette and also social spaces. The city centre is within 15 to 20 minutes walk, depending on which accommodation you choose. And there's also a supermarket, 10 to 15-minute walk from all those accommodations as well, which is called Morrison's. In all of our accommodation, we have weekly activities. Some of the examples we have here, we have craft nights and pamper nights and Netflix parties and coffee nights, bingo nights and pub nights. We have bake and decorate, let's get cooking. We also have Wellbeing Wednesdays and breakfast on the go and various other events. So these are all, student events that help you settle in and also help you socialise throughout the year as well. And it's a really good way of making friends and things like that. So we have lots of welfare and support available at the University of Leicester within our Student Services Department. So we have a Student Services Centre, which is a central point for all information and advice for students, depending on what you need help with or support with. You can call or email the team there, and it's absolutely free. And all the support you can get can cover things like registration and fees, if you need some accommodation support, also health and wellbeing support, like if you need counselling or anything like that. We also have sports groups and room bookings. The career development service is there, and also Unitemps. So if you're looking for part-time work, we have the Unitemps. A lot of the jobs there are, some of them are within the university, and also some of them are within the kind of wider city as well. So there's lots of options there for looking at paid work. If you need any financial support, you can head there for your financial support. The accessibility centres there as well. So if you have any disabilities or anything like that, then we have support available there. Our IT service, you can also report and support, and the student learning development, and also our chaplaincy are all based within our Student Services Centre. Safety on campus is very important, and we have a Safe Zone app which you can download onto your phone. The app allows you to alert university security via your mobile phone if you ever need urgent assistance or if you need first aid or anything like that whilst on campus. There's 3 main buttons, one for first aid, one for inquiries, and one for emergency. We have check-in functions, which allows you to let security know where you are and if you're working alone or outside of normal working hours. Our university security team has won 2 out of 4 awards at the Association of University Chief Security Officers this year. And this is an association for security professionals in universities across the globe, which make our security team one of the best in the world. Clubs and societies. So at the University of Leicester, there's lots of opportunity to be involved with our clubs and societies. We have over 250 different clubs and societies, sports clubs, and then our sports clubs range from, you know, football or basketball or hockey, and we've got lots of different choice. Within the at the start of the academic year, you'll have the chance to meet the students that run each sports club, and also you can try out in trials for things like football as well. And every Wednesday, the students in all the sports teams will be playing the university against, playing whatever sport it is against other universities as part of a league table. In terms of the societies, we'll have a wide range of societies covering areas such as national and cultural societies, academic societies. So we might have some course-related societies, like, for example, the computing society or the actuarial science society. We've got some campaign societies, common interest societies, performance societies such as dance. We also have faith societies such as our Islamic Society, media society, and also politics society. There's essentially societies covering a wide range of things, but also whether it's a club or society, if there's something that doesn't exist that you're quite good at or you want to try out, then actually there's also an opportunity for you to set up your own club or society. All you need to do is get another I think it's 5 students that would be interested, and you would go to the Students' Union and be able to do that, which is actually quite an exciting project for students who are interested in various things. And this is you on your graduation day once you've graduated from the University of Leicester. So thank you for your time today, and if you've got any questions, we'll be happy to answer them right now. Over to you, Oliver.
Thank you very much, Jules. That was really informative, and really loved to kind of hear all about sort of the university, the city, and hopefully that sort of really helped sort of students around the globe. So if you've got any questions, please do feel free to put them in the Q&A. There'll be a bit of a sort of a question mark symbol somewhere on your screen, depending on what device you're using. Couple of questions that we always typically get, Jules, I'm hoping you can help with is one around scholarships. And would you be able to sort of clarify sort of the specific scholarships that perhaps international students could look out for, and perhaps where they can find these as well?
Yes, so for our undergraduate students, the automatic scholarships, I mean, each university really chooses how they would like to spend their funding, and at the University of Leicester, rather than us have only a few students that are financially supported, we offer to as many students as we can, a bit less, you know. So rather than like full scholarships for everyone, because the term scholarship in some countries, they would assume it's like full, everything's paid for. But at Leicester, we use that funding to support as many students as possible. So, for example, in the business school, like I mentioned, we have that fantastic scholarship, which is given to all of our students on all those courses, and it's basically guaranteed. But the amount depends on academic. What the students have achieved in their A levels or their equivalent, and the same with the College of Science and Engineering as well. That's also an automatic, essentially a discount that's given on each year. So students can save over £15,000 across their 3 years of study with us with those scholarships or discounts, which is actually very generous. Also, in terms of and we also obviously have the Centuries Scholarship, which students can apply for. We had those for last September as well, and we had videos from students all over the world, you know, that were telling us how they would, you know, what changes they would make. So on our website, you can find out more information about all those scholarships that are available as well. There also might be some available depending on which country students are from. We've got yeah, so there's a full list on there that students can look at and see what's available. Also, we do advise students who are maybe looking for something a bit bigger, like a full scholarship, to also look at their own countries and find out what's available to them as, say, a citizen of Nigeria or a citizen of Philippines or wherever it might be, because quite often a lot of the governments have various funding available to their students for studying abroad.
That's really helpful, Jules. Thank you. And I've literally just published the link as well to the international student scholarships. So save you reading that whole web link out. So there is that also in the Q&A. If anybody wishes to have a look, sort of direct link to the web page on those. We've had a question come in. So, hi, I'm a student from Italy looking to apply to the university. Is required a certification of the level of English to be admitted?
I don't really look after the European market, so I would want to double check this is correct. But for all of our students coming from countries where their first language isn't English, then they do have to, as part of their visa requirements, you know, kind of submit some documents. But with obviously being Italy, and I don't know whether there's any changes, if there's any changes impending with the kind of us leaving the EU or anything like that. But I would probably have any documents that you would need anyway would be written on your offer letter. So if you applied and it was something that was required, then the admissions office would let you know that that's required. But at the minute, I'm not 100% sure whether it is needed for Italians, but it is needed for those coming from other kind of countries where they're not, English isn't their first language. But yeah, you would need to have a good level of English to be able to obviously to not struggle with the university study. And also there's various English kind of classes that you could take if you needed to. Some of those are pre-sessional and some of those are in-sessional as well. So it means that if you start at the university but you want to develop your English language skills, then there would be support for you. I don't know, Oliver, do you have anything to add on that? I'm just a bit stuck with it being kind of a European country.
No, I think I think you've kind of covered it. What I've done is I've put in the web links. I think what's always difficult is obviously there's so many different countries around the world, different requirements. So what I've actually done is I've put in the web link for English language requirements, and then there is actually a link on the left-hand side of that web page for the specific countries. So that probably is much easier. So I'd suggest that students sort of having a look at that web page. Another question has come in as well, so do keep them coming in. Are there any opportunities for contacting students who have experience of studying at the university and would be willing to answer some questions? I can probably answer this on behalf of you, Jules, if you like.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic system we've got on the website. It's our UniBuddy chat. So what I will do at the end of this session is I will put a link to that. But that is an option. Basically, you can message online to loads and loads of our students, and it will actually say where they're from. So if you want to speak to another international student, potentially depending on what country you're from, maybe from your country as well, then you can message them, and then they'll normally get back to you over the next day or two. So it's a fantastic messaging kind of system, and you can also talk to students on your actual course as well. And it has got an option to talk to staff too. So if there's any questions that kind of come off the back of this, then I think Jules, you're on there as well. Is that right?
Yeah, we have staff and students on there. And just to add to that as well, when you go on our website and let's just say you're looking for a law program, it'll actually pop up. The UniBuddies will pop up, and it'll say that there's a student studying law. So if you want to find a student who's, say, studying law, then it'll tell you whether they're from Spain or they're from Nigeria or they're from the UK. Or you can actually go on to you can open up the main portal, and then you can maybe try and find a student from your country. Now, obviously, where possible, there's students from all over the world on there, but you might be able to find a student from your region or your country, and you can ask them questions, obviously, about the course, or even about, oh, you're from Nigeria, I'm from Nigeria, what it's like to be a Nigerian student at Leicester, and try and get some hints and tips from them that way as well. So you can ask them lots of things. And the great thing about the Uni Buddies is obviously you're getting that first-hand experience of a student currently studying at the University of Leicester that can give those answers to you.
So yeah, no, I definitely recommend having a look at that. And I've just popped into the Q&A as well. I've just popped in the web link as well. So hopefully that'll be really helpful for you. Another question has come in, is somebody's doing their A-levels at the moment, and they'll be starting university in 2023. So by that time, they'd only be in the UK for 2 years. Am I considered as an international student?
So I think, so I assume the students came over and they're doing their A-levels in the UK, yeah. I'm pretty sure the cut-off point is about 2 years, but it's something that would need to check with admissions to make sure that whether you would be on international fees or the home fees. But Oliver, do you know anything about this? I'm pretty sure it's 2 years that they need to be in the UK,
yeah,
before they would be able to get the home fees.
Yeah, I think from my knowledge, it's either 2 or 3 years. So I think it again, this is where it gets it gets always complicated with sort of different sort of scenarios of where people are at in their sort of education journey and sort of residency. But if you feel free to kind of either drop us an email, or there'll definitely be some information on the website. I'll try and grab that web link shortly, but there definitely will be some on there.
But when you apply to the University of Leicester, they'll give you the offer letter and let you know what the fee is. So if you wanted to kind of question that fee to sort of say, hey, would I not be classed as home fee status, then there's actually a form you can fill in and they do the checks, because sometimes it's not so straightforward. But yeah, definitely look at the link that Oliver will share, and the timeline where you would have to be studying in the UK before you got home fees, to check whether it's 2 or 3 years. And as long as you're in the UK for that amount of time as a minimum, then you'd be able to get home fees. But if not, it would be international.
Fantastic. So do have a little bit more time if there's any more questions that anybody's got. I know another sort of popular question that comes in, Jules, is perhaps just more of a concern of sort of adapting to sort of the British way of life, and coming over to the university. So how could you perhaps just give a bit of an overview of how does the university and perhaps the city of Leicester as well help international students adjust to when they come over?
Yeah. I mean, one thing I would say is, when you're walking around as an international student, people won't know where you're from. They'll probably assume you're even British, because, like I say, the Leicester city itself is very multicultural. So, we had many people that came over in the 70s from East Africa. We've got a big Indian population. We've got people that, that settled here from all over parts of the world, the Middle East, Africa, everywhere. So that's the main thing. And like I mentioned, in terms of being able to access various foods and things that are imported from your country as well, little things like that, and going to a cafe that's run by somebody from your country who settled, in Leicester years and years ago, then all these kind of things can help you just naturally feel a bit more at home. But also at the University of Leicester, we have various welcome events and things at the start of the year. I'm pretty sure some of those are around like settling into the British culture as well. But one thing that is great about the British culture is that we're so open-minded about other people's cultures and traditions as well. So that makes it like quite nice and easy to fit into, Do you have anything to add to that, Oliver?
No, I think you've covered it nicely. I mean, I've certainly been in the city for the last few years, and it's without doubt I've lived in quite a number of sort of UK cities now, and it's by far kind of the most diverse city I've lived in. There's so many different sort of pockets of communities that, to be honest, can almost guarantee wherever you may be in the world, you will find somebody who is most likely from your area of the world, if not your specific country. I think I've even met a few students where they actually realise they're almost from the same village in certain countries. So yeah, there's such a fantastic community at Leicester. It really is one of the most diverse cities in the UK, and that's a really nice sort of benefit of coming to Leicester as a city. I can't see any more questions. We'll just wait for a few moments. Is there anything, Jules, anything else that you perhaps normally typically get asked that perhaps somebody might be thinking of, perhaps after this session they'll go away and say, oh, I should have asked that? Is there anything that kind of comes to mind that you typically get asked?
I think the main things are with students kind of feeling like they can kind of fit in and make friends and things like that. The main advice I would give any student, you know, who's looking to come to Leicester in September is to especially if they're international, is just to make sure you arrive on time and give yourself that time to access all the different services and all the induction activities and make friends before the university starts. You know, it's really important that you prepare yourself to make sure that you arrive well in advance. If you start, you know, your start date, and just engage with everything that we've got on offer, and you know, all the opportunities to make friends, because at the end of the day, the peer network you're going to get when you first start is going to help carry you through difficult times, you know, in terms of you know, might get homesick or things like that as well. So that having that PS support is going to be really important for you, and the best time to get that together is really when you first come and making all those friends and things like that, and basically just making sure that you don't deal with everything on your own, that you're actually reaching out and using our services and chatting to our academic staff and things like that. Because one of the cultures in the UK that's a bit different maybe elsewhere is, you know, the academic staff, the professors, they're all accessible for you. You can knock on their door. They have drop-in sessions. In some other parts of the world, maybe it's not as easy accessible, and maybe it's not a culturally norm to be going, you know, popping into the office of your professor. But that is generally what we do at Leicester, and in the UK. So that's just something to be aware of as well.
That's really useful, thank you, Jules. And I've seen another question come in is around somebody's finding it sort of difficult to translate a few course entry requirements from the country that they're in. And actually, I've literally just posted just above that in the Q&A is our sort of contact webpage. And what I would suggest is if you contact our admissions, which is admissions@le.ac.uk, you'll find this on that webpage. So if that student wanted to drop us an email with their qualifications, we'll be more than happy to have a look at those and sort of assess them against sort of our entry requirements and see how they can fit over. It's quite a common thing that we do, so you're definitely not alone with so many qualifications around the world. It's always difficult to kind of get everything on the website, so do drop us an email if you can't find that information. With that, I think we'll sort of begin to wrap up the session. So thank you very much, Jules, for your insights. It's been really, really useful. And I hope everyone on this session has found it really useful too. I'm just posting in the Q&A there's a couple of extra links there. So there are more sessions going on after this. So we do have one that you might be interested around sport and active life at 11:30. And we also have one again on accommodation if you didn't manage to attend our one earlier. Definitely recommend you to have a look at accommodation as well, and they'll be able to run through what we have on offer and answer any questions that you may have as well about that. But thank you very much, Jules, again. And like you mentioned earlier, you can be contacted on our chat, can't you, as well, if there's any questions after the session?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In my team, we've got staff that look after all regions of the world. I personally look after Sub-Saharan Africa and also Pakistan. So sometimes I'm not the best person to answer the questions, depending on where you're from, but we've got, like I say, we've got a team in the Future Students Office that looks after all corners of the world. So there'll be someone that has the expertise for your questions.
That's fantastic. But with that, thank you very much. Do take care of yourselves, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day and any other sessions that you may watch after this. It will be available on demand, like I mentioned at the beginning. You will receive a link to this session and more by sort of end of next week. But thank you very much again for joining us, and take care.
Thank you. Happy weekend.